Welcome back to the Boot Tragedies. All right, watch the preseason game back. Definitely wanted to come in and talk about some guys I think stood out the most in that football game, and we'll jump right into it with Tyler Shough, the quarterback. Our first watch, obviously he had ups and downs and things like that, but watching it back, man, I think he had a really, really solid game. If you take away that pick six, man, we could be having very, very different discussions today, but obviously you can't just take the good without the bad. But I mean, if somehow we were just able to take away that pick six, and I say you take away his best play, and you take away his worst play. So if you take away the pass to Tipton and you take away the pick six, I think he just had a very rookie-esque game. Now, obviously, you see the pass to Tipton and you see the pick six, and you see kind of why the Saints wanted to draft him, and you can kind of see why people, wanted to shy away from him and things like that. So if you take away the highs and the lows, I still think he had a relatively solid game. So we'll talk about it, man. I think when he first came in, he was decisive. He was quick getting the ball out of his hands and things like that. But the more as the game started flowing, and the more, when you first get out there, you're thinking, okay, gotta get the ball, gotta let it go quick. That's on the front of your brain. So when you first get out there, you're thinking all of these things, so you're doing it. But as the game flow goes on and that's out of your brain, now you're worrying about, hey, this guy's trying to sack me. This guy's trying to do this. Or what is the safeties doing? What are the defense they're in? Now that, hey, I got to get the ball out quick, kind of leaves your brain. And you can see that after we got out that 2-minute drill. When he first got out there, like I said, decisive, quick. But once you start getting the flow of the football game, those things start to lose your leave your mind. It doesn't become second nature like to maybe, one of the vets in the league. So obviously he's going to have to get better at that and try to get more consistent of how that 2-minute drill look like. Obviously it won't look like that 2-minute drill every time he's out there, just because that's just not how football works. It's a little slower pace and things like that. But obviously he came out there in that 2-minute drill and looked okay. Obviously, like I said, once that third quarter started, we kind of reverted back to what it looked like when Spencer Rattler was out there. But I do think he had a really, really good game. Definitely, he stood out more than anyone on the field, in my opinion. I think he played a really, really good game for his first time out there. And we'll see where it leads. Do I think he put enough of a dent in the quarterback competition to overtake Rattler? Not yet. But I mean, if you have 3 straight preseason games that looked exactly like this, then I would be comfortable with Tyler Shough being our quarterback one. At the moment, I still give the edge to Rattler. It's a long process. Like I said, it's going to be a season-long evaluation between these guys. I think Rattler has the slight edge just because he's been so much better in practice. They both turned the ball over. Obviously, Shough put some points on the board. Whether it's against the 2s, 3s, 4s, or whatever, that doesn't really concern me. It's all about, where you're throwing the ball, how fast you're getting it out your hands and things like that. So we'll see how this progresses, man, but he definitely stood out on tape to me. Now, the second guy, I kind of touched on him yesterday. I can't scroll as much as I want to scroll, but we won't find him on this list. And that's Isaiah Foskey, man. I didn't want to be too harsh on him. I want to watch the game again, because sometimes you can show up in the stat sheet not show up in the stat sheet on defense and have a really, really good game. You're doing your run fits, you're getting after the pass, you got some, some hurries and things like that, but he really didn't. And it's unfortunate because the Saints, spent the high draft pick on him. For guys not gonna work out, I believe he was the 55th pick off the top of my head. No matter what it was, second round pick, you have to hit on these guys. Now, these guys don't have to be all pro guys, Pro Bowl guys, or guys that's going to be in the league for 10 to 15 years, but you want at least a rotational player out that second round pick. I don't think the Saints have that. And honestly, this guy might not make the team. It's a lot of guys that popped off the screen that looked better than him. And now while I'm on him, it's kind of a dual pick with this one because of how bad he was. I think Fadil Diggs, who basically plays his position as a 7th rounder, played much better than him in his first ever NFL game. I know it's preseason and things like that, but he just pops off the screen. He's making plays. He's getting active out there. Isaiah Foskey did none of those things. It took Fadil Diggs 1/2 of a game to do more than Foskey's done in a year in one preseason game. And that's just troublesome for the Saints. It should be worrisome for Mickey Loomis. It's going to be another defensive end, another edge guy that you shit to bed with drafting. And let's just be honest. Davenport, bust. He played well sometimes when he was out there. Peyton Turner, come on. Be serious. Isaiah Foskey, you're going down the road of drafting these awful D linemen. Even the guys you're getting in free agency haven't really shown up. Rasee looks like he's going to be a solid player for you. But Saunders haven't really done anything. Shepard hasn't really done anything. Foskey, you've just been very, very bad at that. Luckily, we got Chase Young. We got Granderson in the mix. But as of late, it's been very bad at that position. Fadil Diggs looked like he'll be a solid player though, so that looks like we're gonna hit on that way too early to deem that to be true. But I did like what I saw from him in that first game. And last, I'll leave with a cornerback. One of my favorite cornerbacks. I kind of mentioned it. Isaac Gidom, man. I think this guy's really good. When he was with the Saints in his first stint, I thought he played well. I thought we should have gave him a chance to stay here. And my bold prediction, actually, I'll save that. I'll save that for when I get to my bold prediction. But I do like the way he played. Had a really key breakup on third down. Like I said, that third cornerback position for the Saints they're fighting for it. Obviously, you have Alontae Taylor. Obviously, you have Kool-Aid. And after that, I mean, we can just pull up the roster right now. It's just not, I mean, it's not a guy that's just, a guaranteed third guy on that roster for the Saints. So I do think Isaac Gidom is going to be in a driver's seat for that role. Obviously, I like him a lot. So we'll see where that leads. But like I said, really excited about those guys, Shough and Yidam, at least. Let's pull up this depth chart for a second. So we can kind of look at these guys. Obviously, you got the Rico Paytons, who I didn't think had the greatest game for Rico Payton, but I mean, I still think he's a solid player for us. So obviously, they got Yidam starting in that nickel right now. I do think he's a better outside corner, so that's going to be interesting to see. But obviously, Alontae and Kool-Aid are the outside guys, so he's going to probably have to play that in the slot. I don't want to see Ugo Amadi out there. I'm just going to be honest on that. Obviously, got Quincy Riley. Those are probably going to be your guys to start the year. Ugo, Yidam, Kool-Aid, Alontae, and then Quincy Riley. I think those are going to be your first 5 guys up. We may keep 6 guys. We got some extra safeties in there. We'll see how that pans out. But I do like Isaac Gidom. I think he had a solid game out there. And that's about it, man. I'm gonna watch the game again and try to find some more guys. There's a lot of moving parts out there. I don't know when everyone's coming in and out, off the top of my head. So I'm gonna watch it again. Kind of try to find some of the rookies, see what they did well out there. But let me know who stood out to y'all, man. Obviously, Shough, I think, played a solid game, and he's gonna always stand out because you're a rookie quarterback, high draft pick at number 40. You're going to always want to see that. I'm going to go watch Banks as well. I kind of left him. I'm going to watch him kind of solo on my own with him and Penning. Kind of watch what they did out there. So I kind of left them out these discussions, even out of yesterday discussion. So I'm going to go back and watch them, see what they kind of did. And let's just see who stood out, man. If y'all watched it again, or if you just remember our first look, who stood out to y'all, let me know in the comments below, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Once again, as always, the Two Boot Tragedies. I'm out.